What's up, guys? It's your favorite channel that doesn't seem to be able to get his freaking logo loaded in the middle of the screen, but that's probably because I loaded the logo a little bit to the right when it came to this cutting board, but whatever, it is what it is, I guess. I wanted to talk today because, number one, I've been tired of shit from SHOT Show, but I did want to get a video to you guys this week. And going into 2022, I wanted to go over a couple of knives that have been in my pocket, and I've actually been pretty excited to talk to you about it because these are 5 that some are new, some are kind of new, and some are probably just new to you. Some are new to me that I've been just carrying a lot in some rotation. So we're going to go over 5 knives I am excited about going into 2022. So stay tuned. We'll get right to it. Hey guys, welcome back. And yeah, just kind of touching up on what I mentioned in the intro. These are 5 knives that I've been rocking quite a bit. Some I've had for a little while, some I've had longer than others, and some I've just gotten, fairly recently going into the new year. But let's go ahead and kick it off with a concept design. This is one. It's kind of funny because the maker of this knife, it's Maxrum design. He has a new one out with concept that's coming out very, very soon. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk about this guy right here. This is the Pelican. Now, this version of the Pelican, as you can see, it's all murdered out. I actually have a video on this one. Really, really good knife. It's got a nice frame lock. S35EN steel. The maker's information is right on this side, and then the steel and the model designation is on the side that shows the concept logo, which I'm glad they finally just went with that X or K or whatever it's supposed to be. And while I'm not a big fan of titanium knives, this one, I don't know, it hits different. Like I can fit it really well in my hand. There's a lot of natural inclination for where my fingers fall, and then just the thumb kind of rests up here, or I can go for a little bit more relaxed, kind of a more secure feel like this when I'm actually kind of scraping through things by putting my finger up here. There is a lack of jimping, but it's a very nice frame lock. It's ready for tip up right hand carry, and if you have a lanyard, there is a lanyard hole to be able to go ahead and add to it. It's got a couple of things like this groove right here and this groove right here that's been milled into the titanium scales, but very, very nice knife. Great belly. I actually lent this to Justin at Tier 1 Gear and Knives, and he loved it as well. So this is the Pelican, and also not to be confused with the Pelican from Kaiser. They are the same maker, but for some reason when he does releases, he did a release with Kaiser and he did a release with Concept, and they both go under the name Pelican. So I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I did want to go ahead and mention that. That's the Concept Penguin. Okay, now going into our next one. This one was one that I carried a lot through SHOT Show, and it's been around for a little bit, but this is one of 2 styles, and I actually prefer this one to it. This is the Protech Malibu. Now, you've probably seen this before. In fact, recently, Protech has actually released a version with textured aluminum scales, which is what I've been waiting for, but they have a reverse Tonto blade. And although that's a nice blade, it's a little bit thicker than something I'm looking for, and I'm looking for the obviously the Warncliffe version. So once they come out with that, you better believe I'm gonna scoop that up. The only thing that I've done to this, other than sharpen it and use it, is I took it apart, oiled it and stuff, which really helped with the button, because a lot of them come with what feels like a very sticky, hard button to press. And this one, it works really well. I haven't had any problems. I'm going to tell you guys the secret is to use it and then take it apart and lube it and just kind of let it kind of work itself into its own track. So I'm telling you guys, it can be done. There are some models that come great out of the box, and then some that just don't. The only thing that I've done other than take it apart, lube it, clean it, all that stuff, was use it, sharpen it, and then I replaced the pocket clip with this more satin version. When I go back into the office and use this as an office knife, that's going to go ahead and come off, and that's going to be a black pocket clip. But I did want to go ahead and mention that. Unfortunately, there's no lefty love on this, unless you like to carry on your right hand in your right pocket. So, but beautiful knife, great action, and it's one of the few manuals that Protech sells. So be sure to go ahead and check that when you can. That is the Protech Malibu in 20 CV steel, if I'm not mistaken. This version, let me see here. Yeah, it doesn't state it on the blade itself, but this is the 20 CV. They do have Blade HQ has a limited amount in S45VN, which I believe already sold out, but it's worth noting. And they are coming out with a textured one soon. You better believe I'm gonna scoop that up. So yeah, Protech Malibu. So on to the next one. This one is from Brad Zinker. Okay, and this is a collaboration between himself and Civivi. I've actually had one of Brad Zinker's knives on the show before, and it was a collaboration with We Knife Company and Drop. Maybe you remember that one. That one's called the Dog Tooth. If you haven't, here is another one. It's a nice carbon fiber shred with kind of a blue addition onto there into the scales, and as you can see, it actually pops really well in the light when it looks like that. It has the C obviously for Civivi, and this is the bow. It says a nice stone wash. It's kind of like they put it like a matte finish and then they stone washed it, you know. So I dig that. I dig that. Nitro V steel for this one. You see the BZ right there. That's the maker mark for Brad Zinker. Very simple. It's actually pretty small for what it is, as you can see. Okay, I'm just kind of showing it in my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one more time here so you can see it. And nice small blade, great for, you know, light carry, maybe, you know, office carry, executive, that sort of thing. It screams luxury, but it's a Civivi, so it's not going to be too expensive compared to what you would see with its Wii counterparts. And you have a few, you know, budget adjustments. I'm sure that the materials, you know, the inside, the internals and stuff like that, and the bearings aren't as awesome as, say, Wii's, but they're actually very good. You do have skeleton liners, skeletonized liners. Let me see if I can go ahead and get a light to show that off. Maybe I can show it this way. All right, there you go. You should be able to see it there. Okay, so that's only on the show side. When you look at the clip side, there's no skeletonization, but that's because of the fact that, you know, there's just very little. This is actually a pretty narrow knife, and it's not a very big one, you know, so it's nice, you know, but it's great if you are right-handed. Again, no lefty love. Sorry, guys. This is the Civivi bow. This is a collaboration with Brad Zinker and Civivi, which is the budget branch for We Knife Company. So stay tuned for that one. There will be a review coming up soon for that. Now, this one is from a dude named Carlos. This is not Carlos like me, Carlos. This is a guy named Carlos Esner. He actually did this knife in collaboration with Kaiser. He's actually done a few knives that have been on the channel. You've probably seen them, and if you haven't, this is a great first one to go with. So this is a thumb stud and flipper deployment option. There is another one that's just thumb studs, but this is called the Rapids, and this is from Carlos Esner, and this is done through Kaiser. Now, I can tell you that the 154 cm they use on this is great. You got a cool little maker's mark on there. You have the name, which is the Rapids, right up there, and then the maker's mark right there. The grind is really good. It's nice and symmetrical on both sides, which is something that you don't see from, you know, the QC from a lot of companies. And check this out. I gotta tell you, number one, there is a lefty option for this. It is a liner lock, okay? Flipper, thumb stud, which, by the way, great placement here. Great placement right here. You can just flick that out, and it feels kind of funky when you look up here. I mean, but honestly, when you place your thumb back here, this little hump that they've added right here with the jimping, it stops your thumb, and it feels really good. You kind of get used to it. And speaking of getting used to it, oh, hold on, I gotta show this again. So I'm gonna just let it go. Woo! One more time. Yes. All right. So this is blue and black outlined G10 with an outlined collar for the pivot. As you can see, there's access to the pivot on one side. I have to double check if that's a D-shaped pivot in the inside, but I'm hoping it is to kind of prevent this free spinning. It is on bearings. And guys, I got to tell you, this thing is awesome. This thing is really awesome, and it's lefty friendly, deep carry clip. I do carry the other variant quite a bit. It's black with micarta and black blade, and it's just a thumb stud, you know. But I can tell you that this one, as far as the action on this one is actually a lot better than the other one, but maybe some use will get some good action out of it. In the meantime, I gotta tell you, the Carlos Esner design, the Rapids from Kaiser, that's the way to go for this one. And look at this blue. I know you can't really tell on the screen, but this actually really pops. This is a great casual knife. It's not too big of a blade. You can use this as a gentleman's knife. You can go to a steakhouse or something like that. Or if you're just out doing, you know, standard EDC, you know, stuff when you need to open up a box, mail, you know, go through a bunch of different types of media, sizzle rope, whatever. Stuff works really well. Again, this is the Rapids from Kaiser, produced by Carlos Esner. Now, last but certainly not least, we got a Benchmade bug out, gentlemen and ladies. So this version is the aluminum scales with the M390 blade that is coated. It's got the red thumb studs and the hardware here in the back, as you can see. Have those two standoffs. And great action. The Omega lock, obviously, the axis lock is fantastic. Really can't go wrong with it. I've actually used this quite a bit. You can tell on the coating. Maybe you can, let me see here. No, you can't really tell. Well, a little bit. There's kind of like grease spots or whatever from when I've handled it. But the coating on this has actually been really good. All I've done really is kind of strop the edge lightly. I haven't had a problem, you know, yet with this particular knife. And the 535 series is a great knife. But to kind of tell you the reason why I ended up with this one is because I can't stand like that ultra lightweight FRN version. I don't know what it is, you know, even with the variants that they come out with carbon fiber and stuff like that, I just feel like aluminum or some kind of steel or something like that on top of, you know, what the internals are, because there's partially skeletonized you know, FRN to be able to take care of just like the steel and just like the encasing and stuff that it has inside, which is metal. But something like this was just the way to go for me. I know that there are titanium scales, rock scale design. There's a lot of other companies that are paying that you know, have options for titanium scales and you can just swap it out. But honestly, you know, you have the nice aluminum scales, which can be anodized, by the way, and these are stone-washed aluminum. It has kind of like a starburst pattern that goes from up here and kind of like rays all over, you know. And then you have the M390 blade. I'll knock it a star, I guess you can say, because it's coated, but it's really not that big of a deal. And I'm kind of digging the way that it looks, you know, just this whole look. And it has the red on there. It's kind of fitting that it comes right after a blue knife, right, guys? I mean, you know, I've been showing a lot of blue. I love blue. But red, it hits different, guys. I mean, let's be real. And yeah, so that's number 5. You know, really not much to talk about. Like, this is a regular sized bug out. Comes with their different, you know, a Benchmade deep carry clip. This is left and right hand carry friendly. And this is truly ambidextrous. That's another thing. But guys, at the price for this, it's kind of one of those buy once, cry once type of things. I just happened to get this on the secondary for a good deal. And I really dig it. You know, it's something that I would recommend if you're willing to pay the price for something like this. So that's the bug out. I'll put the bow right here above it. Let's see what else here. This is the Malibu. All right. And the Pelican. Okay. Last but not least, I'll put kind of raise these up a little bit. And I'll put the Rapids right here at the bottom. Okay, hopefully you can see that. All right, so there you have it, folks. These are 5 knives that I have been, you know, using, that they've been in my regular rotation, that I'd actually highly recommend, you know, based on my usage. My usage is just like general EDC stuff. If there's something that needs to be cut, I cut it. Everything from, you know, cardboard boxes to fabric, you know, when it comes to cutting fabric from shirts to make, you know, small little cubed pieces to be able to go ahead and use as wipes for my guns. You know, just a little bit of everything. And these 5, I mean, you got Nitro V, you got M390, you got 20CV, S35EN, and 154CM. I mean, there's a little bit of representation from every blade steel that is mid or high tier right here. And a lot of different, you know, just looks. You got the Warncliffe, you got the drop point, you know, nice bits of belly. You don't like so much belly, you can go with the Rapids. You don't want any belly at all, you go with, you know, the Malibu. You want something purely ambidextrous, there's the 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 M390, the Benchmade bug out, the 535 variant. You want something classy, small, but are on a little bit of a budget. The bow would be a great little setup too, in the Nitro V. So a little bit of everything here. And so that being said, they may not be new to you, but if these are on your radar, go ahead and check them out. They're great knives. If they aren't, what is on your radar? What is it that you have been using? Can you recommend anything? Maybe one of your recommendations will end up on the channel one of these days. Sound off below. Let me know what you think. And, I'll go ahead and read the comments as they come in. That being said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to go and email me at dailycarrysolutions@gmail.com or hit up my Instagram at dailycarrysolutions. Here's some videos for you to go ahead and check out. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And guys, check out my SHOT Show stuff, man. This stuff is banging. I got stuff from all over a bunch of different companies, and I can't wait for you guys to go ahead and check that out. So stay tuned for more episodes, but wanted to go ahead and do this, guys. And just remember, if you EDC, even if it's not one of these awesome knives, whether they're imported, American, or otherwise, just remember, if you EDC, take a DCS. I'll see you guys next time. But in the meantime, you take care. Peace.